Choosing a higher education institution is one of the most important thing in your child's development journey. Most learners are faced with with the same questions after receiving their matric results. What are the top factors they should consider when choosing higher education institution that will be best for them? Joining me on the line right now is Nola Payne, who is the head of the Faculty of Information and Communications Technology at the IIE. She has 30 years experience as an academic in IT, specializing in computer programming, and has a master's degree in education with the focus on e-learning from the University of Johannesburg. Good morning, Nola. Thank you for joining me.
Morning. Thanks so much for having me, Miriam, and good day to your listeners as well.
Thank you. All right. So first of all, when should matriculants start looking at potential universities and colleges?
Well, they should have already started. Most institutions are going to be closing their applications for 2021 at the end of September. So it really just gives them a month and a half time to do any kind of research that they want, and to decide where they want to study, what they want to study, and so forth. So it's quite urgent now that they get on with it. Normally, applications open in about April in the year, so they would have already lost a lot of time being able to do research. So it's urgent. They need to do it now.
hmm what are the top factors to consider when looking for a higher education institution?
One good thing I think about this COVID lockdown, it's given us all insight into how education has been done via technology. So I think one of the very first things they need to look at, given that we don't anticipate that the COVID virus is going to disappear and our
Mm-hmm.
lives are going to continue in this vein for a while, is how an institution is able to provide technological lectures. In other words, are they just giving you documents and you have to learn on your own? Or are they providing some kind of support, lecturers being there, giving you online education and so forth? So it's very important to find out what kind of online platform they're working from, and what is their um, thoughts towards technology and incorporating it into lectures. I mean, really, at any point, especially in tertiary education, you don't want to be left on your own to study quite important and difficult topics. So it's something that it's very important to, I would say that's the first thing. And they also, a lot of the institutions are holding virtual open days now. So if the matriculants can find out, obviously probably via the websites, when these virtual open days are, then they'll be able to take part and get sort of direct information and ask questions about courses they're interested in. Um, Part of that, I think, is not to only consider public institutions. There are a lot of very good private institutions. I'm with one at the moment, and we've got a wide variety of qualifications that we offer. And these are accredited by the same body that the public universities qualifications are accredited at, and they are of similar standards as well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we just wanted to, I think you asked me in the beginning, what about the work integrated learning? Um, as one of the options that you should look at when selecting the um, institution you want to study at. And again, this is one of the things that have been highlighted now during our lockdown. There have been many people that have lost their jobs, finding it difficult perhaps to find a job. And especially, I think, if you a new graduate and you're looking for your very first job, you're probably not going to be in line to be considered unless you've got some kind of experience in the field that you're looking at, or some kind of exposure to what you're going to be doing. You know, companies are working on limited budgets now. They don't have time to necessarily spend a lot of time training and bringing a graduate up to speed. So it's important to find out, as part of the courses, will you be doing work integrated learning? And work integrated learning is normally in your third year, and it would be something that's a project, a big project. It could span over an entire year. that covers everything that you've learnt in your degree, for example. It could be a diploma. So it just brings all your knowledge together and it applies it in a simulated situation that you would have in the workplace. And it could even incorporate spending a couple of weeks or something in the workplace to get that kind of experience.
You mentioned accreditation as well as private institutions. Now, how can we find out which institutions are accredited? Because I mean, there are a lot that are not actually accredited, and students end up going there and losing their money only to study for half the year or not even study at all.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is a tragedy, I think, of education institution. People don't know, and it's impossible to know all of the institutions that are out there. If the parents or the matriculants themselves go and visit the Department of Higher Education and Training's website, they have a register of all the accredited and registered institutions in South Africa. So if the institution is not on that list, it's not accredited and they must obviously stay away. Any institution should also be able to provide you with their registration number. So if they can give you a registration number, it obviously makes your search on the website easier. And once you know they are accredited, it has to go a little bit further than that. So it's not just the institution that's accredited and registered, it's also the qualifications they offer. Every single individual qualification that is offered, whether it's a public university or private college, has to go through an accreditation process. We use the same quality assurance system and the same national qualifications framework. And they are sent to the Council of Higher Education. The qualifications are then looked at in terms of quality and content, resourcing, and so forth. And they are either accredited to be offered or not. And again, each qualification is assigned a registration number at the South African Qualifications Authority, or SAQA. And the institution should be able to provide you with the ID or the registration number of that qualification, where you can do an online search to see the basic structure of it and whether it is accredited or not. So I think that's very important before you spend any money to go and find out those two things.
Because I know there were students who registered at colleges which turned out to be fly-by-nights. They went to study for the first semester, and the next semester it had completely changed. The building was now set up as something else, and some of them had paid monies in lump sums and unfortunately could not continue with their studies because of that issue. So how do the different higher education institutes differ from each other when you are looking for the best institution for your child?
I think we're all aware of the public institutions. They all maybe have a focus on various disciplines as such in their institution. Private higher education institutions are a little bit different in that they may not offer the wide scope necessarily that a large public university does, but those that they do offer are well thought out. They are designed properly, and in our institution in particular, we have distributed certain disciplines into different ones of our brand or different brands. So we have a particular focus on some disciplines in brands, and obviously our courses are then according to brand also structured on pricing. So I think there's a lot of factors you need to look at. First of all, what are you interested in? It's no use studying something if your passion isn't in that field. You don't really want to wake up every morning and hate going to work. You want to be able to get out of bed, feel that you're contributing, and enjoy what you're doing. So I think that's the first thing. Once you know what you like, what you really want to do, have a look at courses available there. But don't only look at public universities, look across the board at private institutions as well. And then once you know what you can look at courses that sort of relate to your passion, get more information from the institutions. They've got student advisors available online, which you can contact. And I think it's just really all of that, getting your questions answered, digging deeper, making sure you're happy with the choice that you take.
All right. At the IIE, what courses are available, and can anyone do them? Do you have to have do you have to be a matriculant, or even if you aren't a matriculant, can you go for the courses?
Well, look, I can't list all of them. I think we've got over 90 qualifications now
Wow.
offered on 20 campuses. So there's a lot of options available, but people can go to our website. It's iie.ac.za and get more information there, which will direct them to the various brands. And we into our formal qualifications, you've got to have a matriculate, or you've got to have a senior certificate at least. Excuse me. And that is part of the accreditation process. It's because it's a higher education qualification. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. Can I just have some water?
If you are a matriculant watching this right now, please leave your comments in the comment section below. If you have questions for Nola, you may also leave them in the comment section below. And for more information about the IIC, the website is on the screen. But if you are listening to us, go to www.iie.ac.za, and Nola is going to share with us some of the courses that are available for you, and what are the requirements as well, because even if you are not a matriculant but you're looking to further your studies, this could be an option for you. Nola, are you feeling better now?
Not quite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, please continue when you're ready.
If you haven't got matric, you can do short learning programs, but there's also the option that, sorry, that if you only receive a high certificate pass, you can come in and do a high certificate, and after passing that year, you can move into a degree study. So you don't only have to have degree entry into higher education institution, and if you only pass with a high certificate pass, it doesn't mean that you're never going to be able to do a degree.
All right. And what about fee structures? I know that fees are also something that we should look into before going to study. Can one afford it? Are there scholarships available, bursaries, etc.?
Look, I mean, it depends on the institution you go to. There are different fee structures. It's not a standard fee. Public universities would have NSFAS support. Unfortunately, it's not open to private institutions. So, sorry, it's really bad. Bursaries and that are mostly for public universities.
All right. Okay, Nola, I'm gonna let you go and free the frog from your throat right now. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Miriam. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Nola Payne, the head of Faculty of Information and Communications Technology at the IIE. If you are interested in studying Information and Communications Technology at the IIE, go to their website. It's www.iie.ac.za, and you'll find a lot of information about courses that you can go and study. I came across a tweet. Was it a tweet? Anyway, I came across a saying that said, you can, in 4 years' time, you can either choose to study something or you can stay the way you are. But in 4 years' time, you will still be 4 years older. So it's up to you whether you're going to study something and learn a new skill or get a new qualification in 4 years' time, or you're either just going to be the same person that you were 4 years before that. So think about it. If you're able to study, if you want to further your education, perhaps the IIE could be a good choice. There are other distance learning institutions like UNISA. I know many people who go to UNISA, but UNISA distance learning, correspondence learning is not for everyone. If you're the type of person who likes to sit in a class, work with friends, and UNISA is not for you, so don't even attempt to do it. You're probably not even going to survive. It is for others, and many people are coping just fine through UNISA. And like Nola also mentioned, with the technological then try that as well. There's so many options available, so you're not limited to just one. But if you haven't got your applications in already, submit, because they will be closing in September. And trust me, you do not want to be rushing